Hi, Senior Vice President. It's Rishi Gorrepati. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me and discuss the plan behind our upcoming 100th anniversary celebration event. If executed correctly, I believe this community event could work wonders to promote Clayton Motors and increase long term sales. By promoting this event, we subtly market and increase long term sales of our cars. As community members have a fun time here at our dealership, at our event, they'll implicitly associate that good feeling that they have enjoying this event with this company and its brand, boosting our overall reputation and creating a sense of familiarity for our consumers. Familiarity is really important in business, as as we all know. If we're more likely to buy from someone, or in this case, our dealerships, if we're more familiar with them, right? So we want to increase that trust level, which we can do through this event. If while better engaging our community, we can increase sales through this positive event. It's a win-win scenario in all situations. So first, let's dive into how I want this event to go. To publicize this event, we can post advertisements, social media posts, post flyers in community gathering spots, and more. I think it's particularly important to reach our target demographic of people who which target demographic would be people who are looking for a car right now or be looking for a car later in the future. So, for example, young families, fresh college graduates, and other people who may be looking for a car sometime in the near future. Luckily for us, a lot of people are looking for a car a lot of the time, so I believe we can actually attract a pretty wide array of people to this. But it's also important to have people who aren't looking for the car to increase that word of mouth for our company. As we all know, it's very important to have a good word of mouth and a good overall reputation, especially in the community. So if community members who've already bought cars have happy experiences, it's good because then we can get more people to come and buy a car just through that word of mouth. So I believe that we can specifically target like these young families and fresh college graduates through targeted Facebook ads. And though it may be a more expensive form of advertisement, I believe that in the long run, promotion channels like these create more long-term returns than just a mass email. However, I think it's important to also have a balance. So we can reach out a large number of people very cheaply, which we can do through newspapers, newsletters, maybe a little bit less on the newspapers because newspapers aren't being used as much, but a lot of newsletters are still being used, flyers, email chains, stuff like that. Um, with good public relations, with a specific emphasis on our predicted buyers in the near future, we can bring as many people as possible to our event and give them a good experience so that later on they think back of that good experience and end up buying a car here. Um, and then, so another point that we were discussing before when organizing this event was who should pay for the celebration. We came to the consensus that Clayton Motors should pay for the celebration, so the overall organization rather than the individual dealership. So my reasoning behind this claim is that I believe that if the overall management pays for these celebrations, it's better for the dealership because then they're more invested in each of the centennium events. So let's say that a dealership isn't doing so well, right? They'd be hesitant to spend money on events like these when they want to keep those profits and keep their profit margins high. Uh, and then if just like what I'm trying to say is there might be a variance in the level of interest in the celebrations between local dealerships and central management. So when our central management pays it, it incentivizes local dealerships to make it a better event and to give them 100% effort. Further, I think that local dealerships will see it as former company support and really appreciate it. It creates this bit of brand loyalty, and it's better for the brand because you know these dealerships are like appreciate us and our central management a lot more in their brand because they're like, oh, this is free, thank you so much, versus them being hesitant to pay for it out of their own pocket. Yeah, so that's how I believe that we can solve the solution of who's going to pay. And then, but with our paying, I believe that we should maximize how much return and how much revenue we can generate, and overall good we can also generate from that investment that we pour into these dealerships for these events. I think it's important to be socially responsible and engage in our community. Do this. We can cater from local businesses, support more local businesses, and try to make sure that the community knows that we're kind of a part of the community. We're not just a big faceless corporation. By supporting local businesses, we're also like helping our local communities' economies, right? And then when more people have more money to spend, they're more likely to help us in the long run. So, for example, let's say a small local business is struggling, but we come in with a large order to cater the food for our event. When that business's family later on looks to buy a car, they're going to think about that a positive experience in a time of struggle when we came in and we helped them um, provide in a bit of cash and also help them and their business. So I think, and then that word of mouth can also be really helpful, right? So let's say that those businesses start talking to other businesses and they're like, oh, Clayton Motors is very helpful. It always helps us, and in times of need, it's always there for us, right? So I think it's important to, rather than just being a faceless corporation, it's quite important to create a sense of community engagement because then that builds that trust that's so important in business. Finally, this is a little bit more on the technical side, but these are going to be the factors that I think that we should use to position our brand and kind of make our brand seem better and better than the competition, to say. So these factors are going to be price quality, features and relationships, price quality, features, and relationships to the competition. At the event, we can have free foods, kids activity stations, bring in local community speakers, and more. But we can position those events within our big community event by displaying the following items. So, for example, we can display comparisons of our car's prices to competitors' prices to show our price quality, right? Show why our pricing is better than theirs. To show, oh, we're giving you a good deal. Further, we can emphasize the features our cars have, right? So, like, we can figure out what's different about our cars. Why are our cars unique? And then display those to make sure that people understand, oh, okay, this is why I want a Clayton Motors vehicle. They have better prices. They are, they're compassionate to their community and they have better features within their cars. And finally, I think it's important to emphasize our social responsibility and our care about the community. This is partially done through the local business support we just talked about, but I think if we can also emphasize it here, it creates that trust that is so meaningful. And then finally, after the community members have a good time bonding over free food, celebrating, and doing some of these fun activities that we'll set out, I'm thinking maybe we could add in a little bit of a bingo, maybe some word hunts, and other just fun activities. We can maintain that pleasant experience and keep a customer relationship by giving them a small goodie bag as we leave. I know this is an extra expense, but I believe that it'll be well worth it in the long run. So, for example, what we can do is we can just put a small candy bar, right? And then next to the candy bar, we can put a little paper, right? And then on that paper, it'll ask community members who went to the event to fill out a survey so they can be entered to sweepstakes. Um, Whenever it's a sweepstakes or a giveaway, lots of people tend to fill out those forms. So, those community members will go home, they'll fill out those forms. At the same time, they'll also add their emails and mailing addresses to our repertoire um, of contacts. And then throughout the next couple months, and maybe even the next couple years, we'd be able to send them emails and physical mail to them, and then kind of keep in contact, right? In addition to like giving them another opportunity to win some of these sweepstakes. Finally, I know that if we properly promote this event through various media outreach channels and socially engage with our community, I know that this event will not only boost our brand's reputation, but will lead to long-term sales. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to any suggestions you have in collaborating to make this event a success.